I'd like to start by offering you the fact that this game is a season defining, but I know what I'm going to get, but I'm going to say it anyway, Liam. No, I mean it's a huge game, isn't it? It really is. I know that you're a take each game and never too up and never too low, but games like this come along and it's a big one in League One.
Yeah, a bit big in the sense I think you've got two really strong informed sides coming up against each other. I don't think it'll determine what happens at the end of the season, but in terms of two, like I said, two big sides that are in good positions, that are in good form, that are doing well. I think it's an exciting one for fans to watch, and it's an exciting one I think for players and people to be involved with. So that sense, I think that's what makes it a big game.
And you come into it bang in form.
Yeah, lads have been brilliant. And look, it's a tough year. I think when you look at it, it's a long season. It's a grind for for staff and for players. And I think that kind of emphasises for me the importance of having a strong knit, close group of players and staff that are pulling in the same direction. I think there's days where you have so many games and so many meetings and sessions, etc. That it's tough going. It's demanding on people. And that's why you need each other to pull each other through their moments. And what we've got here is a lot of good people, strong players, and good staff pulling in the same direction. Which like I say, that it's not just recent form. It's a lot of hard work over the course of the season to for the players to go and produce what they've done recently.
The game earlier in the season was a tremendous performance. I remember us all after that victory. Really seeing something quite special in your side. It was one of those games that made everyone aware of what MK Dons were about.
Yeah, and probably being associated with something different that the team hadn't done previously. I think that was probably the one that I remember there'd been a lot of talk around. Obviously, we played some really good football first half, and second half we showed a different side to us in that we spent a large period of time in block. Showed real grit, resilience, togetherness, desire to defend. I remember towards the end of the game, defending quite a few sort of set pieces, corners, and free kicks, which they're key things if you want to win matches. So I think we showed a lot of that second half, which again the club is not always and the team hasn't always been spoken around before.
You're right. There's times I think that previously, and I suppose it's pointless in many respects talking about the past, but fans and myself and Toby and other media would have seen maybe MK Dons go behind at a place like Wigan and capitulate. That's just not part of MK Dons' DNA anymore, is it?
No, and it's a real it's a real good sign of progress. I think when you look at it, we've won games this year by playing to our philosophy and the style that we want, but we've also had to get through difficult periods by being hard to beat and by being compact and by being in block. So I think it was one of the things I said when I came in. The team about being adaptable by being able to solve problems. Being comfortable in all aspects of the game and trying to maintain control because it's impossible to go out and dominate a game for 95 minutes. So it's in them periods where the opposition are on top. How do you manage that? How do you cope with that? And what we've got is the players are really stepping up here to own that in their moments. Them grey areas which sometimes are where you can get that lack of composure or that panic. I think what the players have worked so hard at is to actually improve managing themselves in their moments. And Rotherham is a great example. That grey area after the sending off where you could potentially get panic. The lads stay calm, they stay composed, and they've really improved on it. And like I said, the praise for me has to go to the players and staff because it is so much hard work that goes into it. And ultimately, the second that the game starts, the players have to step up, own it, feel it, and they're for me they're being really brave and stepping up and doing that.
I had a conversation on Tuesday about the presenter of the program said a few months ago we were talking about MK Dons being under the radar. I think probably around the time of maybe the Wigan victory. That's just not the case anymore, Liam. MK Dons are not under the radar. You are not under the radar. Are you coping with that? Okay.
Yeah, I like to try and keep it under the radar. I think, but no, look, I said it from the start. I feel privileged to work in the game, so when it's really difficult. You want to enjoy the moment and enjoy the journey, but I'm sure you speak to most head coaches or managers. It's so difficult because it's so intense and because the second one game's done, you're straight on to the next. You don't have really too much time to to reflect and enjoy that. So Yeah, I think it. Look, the lads have done great to get us in the position we're in. I'm still very big picture. I understand. Arguably overachieving if you look at what we've done from a budget perspective or size of club or etc. But I think what it does show is that we've recruited really well. We've got a really talented group of players, a really strong group of people, and with that we've then created a really strong culture. Which when you look at it, that for me is probably more powerful than having huge budgets and huge fan bases and huge histories. So I think we're living in the moment. We're taking it game by game. I think we've done that all year, and I think that's important for us between now and the end of the season.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, of course. It's funny. I got asked that question by early on in the season. I'd only been in post, and it kind of put me on the back foot. And again, not something I'd reflected on and thought about. But yeah, I love it. I love every minute of it. To be fair, the highs, the lows, the pressure, the stresses, the challenges. It's one of them. It's a real privilege to be in this position.
I think it's probably me who asked you that question. To tell you honestly, I just revamp my questions over and over again as the season goes on.
I thought you were asking because I looked tired. I thought that was I looked tired and stressed is why you're asking me.
No, to be fair, I asked because it comes across. Just on the squad, finally from me. Connor Wickham, how's Connor Wickham? He picked up a knock in training, did he? Is he okay? Is it a long term thing or just something that he's going to recover from quickly?
No, he was back out on the grass. He's really close. It was just a small one, which again, Connor's desperate to get back, and he'd play 90 minutes tomorrow if I let him. But I think it's one of them. I also have a duty of care in terms of him and what we need for the longer term between now and the end of the season. He's going to be in a really really important part of it. So I think it was a small knock, nothing major, and I expect to see him soon.
And the rest of the squad, apart from the ones we know full well about, everyone in good shape, Liam?
Yeah, pretty much to be fair. Aiden's obviously still out, and then T picked up a slight knock, which we're still looking at the other night. So yeah, we're still assessing him and seeing where he's at.
But Dan Harvey returns.
Dan's back in, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Liam. Appreciate it.
No worries.
We've just spoken to Matt Smith, and he seems a very patient character. To be honest, he seems like he fits in with the MK Dons mould pretty well, but he spoke highly of the talent that you've got in that central midfield area, and it's proven to be massive for you at this point of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's been tough on Matt, to be fair, and Matt's going to play a big part here, between now and the end of the season, but also beyond that. And I think it's really difficult, especially when players are joining in January and the team had been doing so well. It's having to be patient, bide your time, wait for your moments. I think. Some of the players obviously had built up credit in the first half of the season, which they're rightly so they have. So yeah, look, Matt's just got to be patient. He's been brilliant since he's come in. We know his qualities, and like I said, he's going to be a huge part for us between now and the end of the season, but also beyond that.
I suppose you can't do an awful lot more than setting up one of the goals at least on Tuesday night.
Yeah, no, of course the goals were great. I really enjoyed the goals, to be fair, watching them back. I thought all three of them different types, but real moments of quality. Troy's header, then obviously Harry's pass, Mo, his movement, and then his the quality and the touch and the finish, and obviously the one at the end. So yeah, the goals obviously the one that we conceded at the end that the guys were frustrated about, and I think that's a sign of progress from the group that. Now when we first came in at the start of the year, everything was around what we did with the ball. Whereas now there's a good balance of what we do with the ball, but also, the players want to keep clean sheets. They want to be hard to beat, and that if you want to be a successful team, for me, like I said, it's being able to control the game by keeping the ball, which is one we as a group spoke around. We want to do better than we did second half the other night. But it's also can we press, can we block, can we build, can we playing behind teams. It's having that that variation in how we play that for me will allow us to hopefully be a success.
We mentioned it plenty of times, don't we? The strength and depth that you have, and also getting goals from all over the pitch. We saw it from the wing backs a few weeks ago. Sorry, from centre backs a few weeks ago. On Tuesday night, it was your forwards, but of course you did it without your top scorer Scott Twine. I mean, teams must be really worried about playing MK Dons because they don't know where those goals are going to come from.
Possibly, again, for me, it's always in-house, right? I think teams might be, they might not, they might get too high, too low, they might find a sweet spot against us. I think it always comes back to us. We do our work on the opposition, but concentrate on us. We can't affect and control what the opposition do and how they go into a game. Their emotional state, their game plans, their and that's why, again, challenging the players. I want the players to really be brave and step up and own it. Especially if teams do make changes, or the information we give them before the game and it changes in the first 5-10 minutes of a game. Be brave enough to solve it and think. Don't look to the side constantly for answers. Which the group's made strides in that, and I think that's probably the most powerful thing for me, is that on pitch problem solving will definitely get the group to where they're capable of going. And I've seen that in moments this year. Ipswich at home was one where the lads made a decision in the last 5 minutes, to go, right, let's be clear, a point's good for us here, let's change what we do for the next 5 minutes. And that it's great to see. And that, again, can't speak highly enough of the players, the bravery, the openness, and collectively how they've really stepped up to own it.